this is the third form of the verb to get. This is the most complicated, and that's why we're going to dedicate weeks 3 and 4 to this verb. When we talk about get in the transitive form, get is important because it becomes like a verb to be. It becomes a transitive verb. So instead of saying I am beautiful, you can say I got beautiful, or I get beautiful, or I am getting beautiful. And we can use the verb get instead of to replace the verb to be. Now, the big difference between the verb to be and the verb get, because you have these two options, is that the verb to be is static. It is not transitional. It does not express a change of state. So, for example, I am beautiful, that is static. It is, I'm not asking, I'm not changing. It is what it is. If I say I was beautiful, that's in the past. It's simple. There's no more beauty. It's over. It's in the past. Now, if I change that is and I replace it with a get, then it becomes transitive. Transitive means that we're going to see a change in state. So, for example, let's say a baby is born and it's really ugly, because lots of babies are really ugly when they're babies, right? And so they're slowly changing into a handsome young boy or a handsome or a beautiful young lady, right? Like they transform as they grow older, right? So she is getting beautiful, or he is getting beautiful. It's very much like becoming, like the verb becoming. Let me give you a better example. If I say, let's say I'm happy, and my children come into the room and they're bothering and they're pulling on my ears and they're closing the computer and they are annoying me, right? So I am getting angry. I was happy and I'm in the process of getting angry. Now, this can be on a lot of different contexts. You would be surprised in how many ways we use get in the transitive form, because to be is static and get is transformation, or it transforms us, right? So it's really a very versatile, very important tense for us to learn to use. Look at the examples. I am getting older. Now think about that in Spanish. You're talking about I am in a transformation going from young to old. It's getting hotter. It's in a transformation from going to cool to hot, right? By the time they reached the house, they were getting hungry. So they were in the process of developing this hunger. I'm getting tired of all this nonsense. I'm in the process of getting tired of all these problems, right? My mother's getting old and needs looking after. So my mother is in the process of aging. It gets dark very early in the winter. So it's in the process of going from sunlight to darkness, like it does every day. Don't touch the stove until it gets cool. So the stove is off, but the burner is getting cool. It's in the process. If I touch it, it's still hot because it's in the process of getting cool. Is that understood? Very good. I just wanted to take a moment and, just talk to you guys about the idea of get as a transitive verb, because this is very different in Spanish. You can say, me pongo enojada, me sacó la piedra. Pueden decir, me estoy enojando. Puedes decir, me puse brava. Like, you can use so many different ways in Spanish to use this get. In English, that doesn't exist. It's only get. This is the only way that we use it. So I'd like you to take a moment and think about all the different ways that in Spanish we express get in English. Because a lot of times when you're translating and you get to one of those sentences where you want to use it, you feel confused, because in Spanish it's very different to what it is in English. That's why we're in level 4, guys, because you're not necessarily supposed to be translating. You're supposed to be using your knowledge of English naturally. So it's important that we stop translating and we learn English for English, right? And this is very different from Spanish. Is that understood? If you have any questions, the best thing you can do is practice and send your teacher or myself examples, and we can see what you're doing. Good job.